We always take a position where we think we're right, therefore good and ethical. And we think that anyone who believes the opposite or who works for the realization of the opposite of what we believe should exist or be legal is the enemy, therefore unethical, and should be denounced and destroyed. All of us coming from our own belief systems, while at the same time, privately, our actions, our decisions, where we work, who we give our money to, is oftentimes supporting unlikable, hideous realities. We are oftentimes oblivious to how we are manipulated into behaving in ways that support unethical realities. We're at fault to a point, and yet we're not at fault because we can't possibly know everything. If two people get married, they have a PhD in each other, or so they believe. If they then divorce, they've come to learn something about their partner that they didn't care for. During the pandemic, the divorce rate skyrocketed because the same two people now spent more time together. The only factor that changed was the increase of time spent together. Well, then if these two people who thought they knew each other and who knew each other likely better than anyone else can fall out of grace with each other, can fall out of love, well, then you can imagine other people like politicians, leaders, bosses, friends, family, media personalities, people that we believed in that we hardly even knew, that we can easily change our opinions of them based on a few of their behaviors, just a few. And yet we still would only know like 5%. We make decisions, we vote for people, we throw our money around, not knowing 95% of the content of the organism which we're supporting. And it's not entirely our fault, because if we would fall out of love with our spouse in whom we had a PhD, then you can see how easily it is for us to be fooled and duped by organisms with which we are hardly familiar. If you didn't know your spouse as well as you thought, then you likely don't know anyone or anything or any institution or any organism as well as you think. And a lot of us just don't want to know, right? So I understand the chosen obliviousness, because if we knew every dark side of every organism that we support, we would end up not supporting anybody. Anyway, believe what you will about karma. If you unintentionally support corrupt organisms, people who turn out to be something darker than you had expected or believed, not your fault. If you divorced your spouse, you didn't know them. If you come to learn things about McDonald's, how were you supposed to know? You weren't supposed to know. But that's part of growth, and our journey is learning and then making decisions based upon what we learned.